All right, so brothers, I really appreciate your time. Today's meeting is important for a number of reasons, but the biggest one is that we have our town hall scheduled for next Thursday, our first one of the year. And we want to make sure that we spend some time in this conversation going through at a high level what those talking points will need to look like so that we're all on the same page. And talk about what we want, how we want the town hall to go, so that it's not just one voice, but it's a diversity of voices in the conversation. During this meeting, that first town hall is also, according to the calendars, when we'll launch the Sheltering Our Legacy campaign, and make that really clear to the brothers about how all of these things connect together. And as a reminder, the Sheltering Our Legacy campaign is our first fundraiser of the year, and that is for the tent. The target audience for that fundraiser are just bros, Kappa Sig bros. When we move on to some of the other campaigns, we'll have other brothers, other people that we'll be targeting. But for that first one, it really is just about tapping into the bros to leverage something that we've all said we wanted. That meeting also will strengthen, give us an opportunity to share some of the enthusiasm about the progress being made across committees. So again, I'm hopeful that we can spend some time really just talking through that. Before we jump into that, I just want to check in with each committee and encourage concise updates. And it looks like I'll be giving the Brotherhood Leadership Initiative or Chapter Games Committee report, as Brother Dance has not jumped on the call yet. And I don't have a text from him. So
I just texted.
All right. Okay. So in terms of order, so bros can get their mind right, we're going to go homecoming, fundraising, mentorship, chapter games, and then communications to bring it home in terms of progress updates by committee. So, Johan, say you up first.
Okay, let's check this Galaxy phone to make sure we don't have any imposters in the room.
I think that might be Cincinnati. Don't he have a Galaxy?
I don't know. I have no idea.
All right, Galaxy S21 5G. State your name, unmute and state your name, or turn your camera on. Or I'm gonna put you in the waiting room. Thank you.
Man, that's me, Robert. This Kedius.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you. All right, thank you. Gotcha, Kedius. And Mandel just jumped in. Great. Right. Go ahead, Johan. So you got the floor.
Okay, so homecoming, I've got my committee pretty much put together. I've been reaching out to one last brother I want to put on here, and it's been hard to get in contact with him, or hard for him to call me back. I guess the younger brothers don't like reaching out to 99, but I've gotten the committee so far is pretty much everybody that I had on the committee last year. I reached out, everybody gonna run it back. And those committee members, it's going to be Javon, 06, Quentin, 19, Big James, 21. And I'm trying to get a hold of 06, Chris. I done reached out to him a couple of times, so waiting to hear back from him. So the committee is pretty much ready to rock and roll. And once I get all my guys together, then we'll have our initial meeting and throw out some ideas, and especially around our 4-day homecoming weekend, which is the whole gist of our thing. And I've been brainstorming myself with some ideas on where we can meet up. And I've tried to reach out to 09 Souls because I think he has a club or a venue, and I wanted to check with him and see if that can be a place, a rendezvous point for the bros when they get in town, as opposed to the Theta Iota House, or we can use the Theta Iota House if he's not available. But that's one of the things that is going to get in the works. It's one of the main things that's going to get in the works that we got going on for homecoming. Let's see what else was it? Committee rocking. I see the calendar. We're waiting to let the bros know about our $100. We're going to try hard to reach that increase of 100 bros, which is another main topic of our committee, to make sure we get an increase. I think that's a 50%, not a 50%, like maybe 30-40% increase. We want to make sure we get to 100 bros. and get everything going. 100 brothers at $100, and we'll be looking really well. We get that point. So that's where we are with the homecoming committee. Things are forming up and shaping up well, and we're excited about
it. 2 questions before shifting the bros. You got '06. You got 2 from '06, 1 from 19, and 1 from 21.
Yes.
Okay.
Open,
You have it.
wait, I don't want to call it waiting list, but of course, Flat wants to be involved. Me and Pee Wee had a conversation. He said he's open to help anyway. I know Pee Wee's already on the committee, but when homecoming comes around, I'll be ready and
It's all
willing
hands on deck.
if we need it. Not all, but the ones that are reliable and ready and willing. When it comes to
No doubt.
the Neos, all hands are on deck. Yes. The 2024, if we're going to have a line of 25, I don't know. The 24, 23, yes. 22, all hands on deck. They doing the work. Service.
Got it. Local brothers. Who do you have any local brothers beyond James 21? And I don't even know if he's still there, but I'm just trying to make sure you got local brothers who are going to be, like Copeland. We're going to be foot soldiers once we get there before the young bros are involved.
Yeah, I tried me and Cope. I tried to get Cope to run points on some things for me last year that didn't quite work out. So I'm open and willing to him, but Big James is still in Jackson. Kareem is in Jackson, and he's made mention that he's open to do something if he needed. So he's another guy that's kind of not waiting list, but he's ready to put in some work with us.
Team, reach out to 9-6 Gillard because he is eager to get involved with a committee. And because he in Jackson also, that might be somebody you can tap into.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Fundraising. Anything else? Any questions or comments for Johanse? I got another one. Hold on. I got one more. Tent vendor finalization. Where we at with that? Because I haven't received any info on that, and I just want to see what's up with that action item.
Yeah, we was ironing it. Harv and I were ironing that out, and we I think we're gonna go away from the Alabama A&M style tent only because it's coming from China. We don't know what the tariffs is gonna look like, and it just seems too cumbersome and too much to go into it. Overseas contacts and all of that. So Harv's guy is supposed to get back with us on a bigger size tent. I think his guy supposed to get back with us on a 20 by 30. We got a price for the 20 by 10, but that's the same size we've already used. And if we needed to, we will have 2, and we don't know if we want to have 2. The discussion that we had is if we get a 20 by 20 by 30.
We got 20 by 20, 20 by 10, and 10 by 10.
Okay. And there was a mix that we talked about. We could either do 2 big, or a big one and a small one, or a big one and 2 small ones, 2 smallest ones. It's a smallest, or the smallest, bigger, and the biggest, which is the 20 by 20. And we'll either do a 20 by 20 and a 20 by 10, or a 20 by 20 and 2 10 by 10s was part of the discussion that we had. Did he ever say he could do the 20 by 30?
I reached out to him, and he's supposed to be getting back to me. He's saying that was going to be a little bit more. But for what he did have, he had the 20 by 20. He priced that out. For some reason, I thought I asked him for a 20 by 20. In my mind, I thought it was a 20 by 30 until I looked at the text again and saw it was a 20 by 20. But those are 18, so we can me and Hanse sat down and said, we can come up with a flavor in that we get 2 big ones, just so we got a variety, because at homecoming we'll be fine, but if we need to use it for something else, we may not need a very large tent. We may need something smaller. So we came with some options and just got to decide on what option we want to pursue.
And I think we'll be within the budget. I think the fundraising goal for the tent was it 5,000?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the one, I think the big tent was quoted at right at 2, and it's personalized KSCAG Omega Psi Phi. So we'll be okay if we have to get more than one. We'll still, to me, I think we'll still come under budget in terms of that $5,000. I don't see us spending over $5,000 on our tents.
Have all of these conversations about with vendors just been with bros and folks that we've already known? Have we looked at like the internet and like tent companies who make tents to see if there's anything out there? Just
Yeah,
out of
look,
curiosity.
yeah, look, yeah, I did. It's a site that the Alabama A&M, the NE bros gave me was Alibaba, which is a Chinese site. Then I looked again to find an American site, and for some reason they never answer the phone. They don't have a voicemail. I tried to reach out to them 3 times. I'll try to reach out again. The first one was a holiday or a weekend, and the other 2 times were weekdays during business hours. So I'm gonna try to. I've tried.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
To say I won't
sure,
try
the
again.
you can get a white tent from somebody else, but if you want the one, when we look at the ones with design on it, and we got to come up with a design. So that's basically what I've been focused on the design.
Personalization. Right. We want to get it a personalized tent.
Right,
We're gonna
and
buy a
and that's
tent.
included in the price.
Correct. If we're gonna buy a tent, let's get a tent that's gonna be what we want, and not just a tent just to get a tent.
Oh no, I was very much under the impression that this was going to be branded material the entire time. I'm just trying to make sure that we're asking all of the questions. All right, thanks, Johanse. Anybody else got any questions or comments for Johanse? I'm shutting my mouth now.
Yeah, dog. I was
Seeing
gonna
it.
say I got a few of my line brothers who willing to ready to help with the committee. They not local though, but they willing to help however they can.
Okay, no doubt about it. I got you, Ruth. I saw 19 was trying to make a statement last year. I think all of y'all paid money.
Yeah,
And it
most
was
of
getting
us.
late. So I saw 19 trying to make a statement, trying to make a little push. I like that. I appreciate that.
We trying to be the gloat, man. We trying to go and take that spot.
Did he just say that?
He did.
Something to aspire to, for sure.
So they've been
He
having
did.
conversations. 19 is 19 on the come up. I see you, 19.
Hey, now
Amen.
y'all better look out.
We with it. Hey, they can have it. It can be the greatest. All right. All right. We moving on to, if there's nothing else for Johanse, move on to fundraising and sponsorship.
Well, as far as fundraising, I haven't done anything after we had our conversation last week, but I definitely need to get some team members. I think the team members I need are going to be for the later fundraising because I want to reach out to one of the 60 bros and talk with him about fundraising. And I'll do that this week. Reach out to Brother Thompson, see what's what.
Okay. Any additional needs for upcoming campaigns or anything like that? Or at this point, you're good? Do you have any names of potential committee members?
Yeah. I want to hit Brother Pace up. And definitely Brother Thompson, Stafford. I already talked to him a while back, and he's more than happy to help. So I got to see what his time like.
I'm gonna tell you, like I told Johanse, he needed local bros. You're gonna need young bros who are gonna do the writing for the grants that have to write too. Because the way I see Brother Pace and Brother Stafford, those seem like they're gonna be involved in donor engagement conversations, and not necessarily gonna do any of that grunt work in terms of writing those LOIs and making sure that those things get sent. So you definitely want to get you some fresh young bros on that team who can write as well.
All right.
All right. Anything else, team?
No, I'm good. My propane about to go out. I can back up propane. I've been outside all day.
Oh, I get it. All right. Any questions for Harv regarding fundraising and sponsorships? Doug, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to get you that information that I started working on regarding the potential list, so we can start working it. It's been a busy few days.
No problem. Get it to me when you can, team.
Yeah, I got a
Rue?
question. I guess it may be for you, Rob, but it's concerning the fundraising. Do we still want to entertain that Uncle Nearest angle, or do we want to do we not, or did we go all the way through with that? I can't remember.
I mean, I had a couple conversations with the contact, and we wasn't ready to engage in that conversation. And when we are, I can reach back out to him and figure out what makes
Okay,
the most
okay.
sense.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anything else for Brother Harvey? All right. Let's move on to mentorship and program delivery. Let's start with just committee. You shared it with me. I'm just making sure that there's an opportunity for other bros here what we got going on.
All right, well, this represents our update, good brothers. We did provide a written report to the executive director today. The committee consists of Brother Pee Wee, Brother Barbie, and myself. And we have three names that are on deck that we're going to reach out to. Damon Martin, Roderick Thomas, and Carlos Cole. And we're going to invite them to our next meeting. Our objectives, there's four as it stands now. Pair 20 mentees with mentors by Q2. Host 4 mentorship workshops by year end. Develop a library of resources for mentees and mentors. And develop a who's who directory for Project Uplift website. So we've got 3 work streams, if you will, the mentorship, really career building, professional development work stream. And then we have the mentor mentee from a wordsmith. I've got my brother's keeper. I'll massage that and marinate that a little bit more. And then the third work stream is the who's who directory that all fall under our preview. As far as our committee, we've already had our first planning meeting. Actually, we've had 2, and they have been very enthusiastic and on point. And we've already set our meeting cadence for Monday nights, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. And that'll either be through conference calls or Zoom. Again, all of this is in the report. We plan to meet this Monday at the 27th, and there we will solidify our talking points for the town hall meeting. And then the other thing, we've been working off of the transition plan. No sense recreating the wheel. We did make some edits to that document that fit exactly what we want to do. Some of the immediate priorities, we moved around a couple of dates. We want to finalize the topics for the workshops, bring it back to this body by the 15th of February. We also want to complete the mentor recruitment by the 21st of February. That's about a month from now. And then schedule a kickoff for the mentorship session, again, March 15th. So we're throwing out a lot of words in mentorship. The March date is really the mentor-mentee work stream, where we will identify mentors, solicit for mentees, train both groups, and put together a program to launch that in March. And then kind of, create a criteria for the mentor-mentee, train them up in terms of expectations, and then launch them. And we still have more conversations on that. In terms of the mentor recruitment, just identifying brothers who are interested in working with some other brothers. That'll be by the end of next month. And then in terms of the career building, professional development, with our pilot last spring, we have a treasure trove of resources, information. We just need to talk through it, stack it according to what makes sense for the spring. And the way that we're going to go about delivering this project, if you will, January to June is kind of our first phase. and the second phase will be July to December. So plan it out, deliver it, think about what we've done over the past 5 months, make whatever changes, and then roll out, because there's a little lull there in July for us to make that transition. At this point, let me open it up to Pee Wee and Brother Barbie for any comments before we go to questions.
So one of the things that we wanted to do was to find out who the advisor was on campus. So I did find that out today. So it is Eric Brent. And so Rob, kind of what I was talking to you earlier, what Brent would like is to see if we can, if you could potentially create a document that would allow them to put their information, kind of what their majors are, anticipated graduation date, and so on, to where he doesn't have to run around and necessarily have to handwrite it. And so then basically he can send the emails to these to the list that the list of the brothers that he has, and then they can fill out the link, and then we get it, and then we would be able to reach out to them to you know, get them to participate in this program.
And that's the main thing we want to try to do is with the undergraduates there is try to get them more involved in the program and try to streamline it. That way they know what's going on, and that way we can go on and hit the ground running. So that way, not only just word of mouth, but we already kind of addressing them and talking to them, getting to know them before we even actually start having, you know, sessions and things of that nature. That way we can go on and roll with it. I think it'd be great. You know?
And then kind of if in that that document, kind of getting them to kind of put down, you know, kind of explain themselves a little bit, it would also probably help us to be able to properly pair the mentor and the mentees together.
That's right. That's right. Because if you look at what we are pretty much, if you look at us, you know, we pretty much covering, as far as me with education, and you got Pee Wee with education and social work. You know, if Shot come on in with him teaching and stuff like that, and you know, it would be great. That way we can go on and kind of streamline that and kind of, you know, be addressing and communicating with these guys kind of ahead of time. That way they can really pinpoint on what they really planning on doing with their career once they leave college. You know, that way things can kind of be more direct. If possible, Rob. If possible.
Y'all got it. Pee Wee, as a point of clarification, as a follow-up, this is what I'm putting in the chat right now is the form that we used last year for the mentoring. I can update that one or create something new. I just want to make sure you look through it, y'all look through it as a committee and see what questions on there worked and which ones didn't work, instead of trying to reinvent the wheel from scratch. So when you have an opportunity, I'll make sure to include it in the follow-up message as well, so bros can look at it at their leisure. Any other questions or comments for mentorship and program delivery? All right, seeing none. Brother Smith, you said March 15th is the first session. I heard you say move some dates around. I just want to make sure I understand which dates.
So at the bottom of that transition plan, there's immediate priorities. Finalize topics for first workshop, February 15th, if not sooner. Complete mentor recruitment, February 21. Schedule kickoff mentorship session. That's the mentor-mentee, March 15th. I know you got Q2 in there, but really kind of get that introduction of how things are going to roll out for the mentorship, mentor-mentee.
Got it.
And that's in our written report too.
I'll get a chance to close read this. I hadn't had that opportunity yet.
Well, that's for the rest of the audience there.
Yeah.
No, I peep game. He just flexing on y'all. He flexing on you. Go ahead, Pee Wee.
I was able to read through it, and it's perfect. You don't need to change a bit. I mean, that in itself answers anything that we would need. So basically, I think the only thing on there would be change that May 5th date to like March 15th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will go through, and I don't even know what a date said on here. So I see it now.
It's at the very bottom. Yeah.
Page 6. I'll make those edits. All right. Thank you. Anything else from mentorship and program delivery? All right. Next up, the Brotherhood Leadership Initiative or Chapter Games Committee. Brother Dance. I know you jumped on late, team. I know you jumped on late, and we're definitely going to hear that apology in a second, but I want to make sure everyone's pretty much started with the committees, who are the folks that they've been reaching out to, so that we can all hear these names as we continue to work to build it out.
Okay, well, in my committee, I have reached out to Rob Evans, Damon Martin, Souls. Don't have solid commitment as of yet, and I had to rethink what roles they would play on the committee. And after seeing our breakdown of our introduction to Brotherhood Initiative, I've rethought that. I know I'm gonna need assistance with some sort of survey, like SurveyMonkey, and spreadsheet as far as keeping tallies. Now, that's where I am with that. As soon as I get off this call, I'll be making some more contact, especially for the SurveyMonkey type assistance, and move forward. I see I got a lot of work to do, and I plan on having. Well, I know I'll be able to present the Brotherhood Initiative and chapter games at the town hall, and I plan to have some sort of commitment with names for the committee. That's all I have.
Team, while I'm gonna share my screen so we can walk bros through the document that you and I were looking at, so that we're can see it and deal with any questions as well. So
okay.
If you'll indulge me there, can everyone see my screen? Okay.
Yeah.
And one thing
see
I can see it.
Perfect.
One thing I would like to request, Rob, is that January 30th date, kickoff date, we pushed that back as far as the start date. It's January 30th, October 12th.
Yeah, I see it. I'm looking at it.
So realistically, I don't foresee. When is the town hall? I thought the town hall was on the 30th.
Next Thursday.
Right. Okay. Ooh, next Thursday. Ooh.
So that'd be, like, set the stage, tell bros what's happening, and continue to roll it out.
Right. We'll be ready for that. Okay. All right. So what I'm saying is, if that's the date we're gonna start, it may take me that long just to get my committee lined up and get everything lined up. You understand what I'm saying?
Got it. Yep.
Hopefully it won't take me past the 30th. But
just to be really frank with everyone, I think the challenge is we have so many priorities that are overlapping, organizing this in a way that was going to allow us to leverage engagement and continue to see engagement throughout, and having points throughout the year where it feels like constant touch points, ongoing communications with bros. So you get an opportunity to see what Flat was talking about. These are the exact same categories from last year, but you'll see the friendship, friend, and fundraising challenges. Really, that's while it's on here for Brotherhood Leadership Initiative, that's part of that second campaign, fundraising campaign that we're talking about there. And that one there is going to be crowdsourced, crowdfunding. We can talk about that window of time. And then this one here, this friendship and registration, is meant to drive homecoming registration. So again, all of our things are interconnected in a way that allows us to really leverage where we are. So I know that the mentorship committee had a report to send out, as and we'll make sure that chapter games, you get the top sheet from chapter games as well, so you can read through it at your leisure as we working our way through it. And then the last part is just the challenge. Once folks are actually there, how many folks come to the different activities, whether it's the meeting, the hospitality, welcome, whatever we call that, and then come hang out at the tailgate. So putting points on those things to just continue to encourage bros to participate and be engaged throughout. Any questions for Flat or myself as members of that committee?
Yeah, how you gonna track that? The engagement when folks come to the meeting and whatnot.
Take attendance, like a roll call, or keep
Okay,
track of,
okay.
like we'll have everyone who's registered. We'll have everyone listed in our, we can go to the fraternities website and print out a roster, or we can look at the roster that we already have and use that as one of the ways to track it.
Okay. It's nobody gonna be walking around a clipboard checking names. He's here.
It might be on, I mean, it could be something as simple as checking off on the phones. Like, boom, you see, like these bros are present. But one of the things, we talked about last year in terms of doing better is having those moments where bros check in. So that we're keeping up with what's happening. So homecoming, I mean, like when you arrive, there's that check-in. When you come to the meeting, you check in because you might have something that we need you to have in hand. You know what I mean? So all of those things are going to be really important.
Okay, cool.
Other questions for me or Flat and me, Flat and I, the two of us.
Hymns.
Right? So Flat, outside of that January date, what'd you think about the rest of those dates? You'll notice that fundraising challenge that we're doing is a short window of a month, essentially. You got a month.
Right.
The knowledge challenge is about 2 weeks, so nothing is going on all year long.
The knowledge challenge, I mean, we can extend it a week. I don't think it should go past 3 or 4 weeks, but the fundraising part, as far as 2 months is concerned, well, we have other fundraising. Yeah, I mean, we have to leave those windows like that because we have other fundraising initiatives that's going to take place as well.
Right.
As far as the registration, homecoming registration, I think we need to move that date up to May 1, simply because and move our back end date up to September 1. And I say this because every year it comes all the way down to homecoming to when we have the funds to get the things that we need. Now, as far as the 10 is concerned, if that's secure, then those dates would be fine. Then, it's really hard to be successful with this homecoming thing. And you're 3-4 weeks out and you got or a month out and you just have your deadline. So
okay.
my suggestion is we move the start date up on that. When we can leave the end date at September 30th, but I think we need to move that start date up from June because it's gonna take a month or so for this to sink in, and brothers they're gonna take their time sending their money in if they're gonna register.
Even with a January 30th kickoff of the year, letting the brothers know everything they're gonna need on the front end. You still think, and they're not gonna even need it until 5 months from now for $100. You still think move it up to May 1st and shut it down September 1st? Because my challenge with that, Flat, is that you know, we're already gonna have things that's happening consecutively, and now we're talking about having things happen concurrently, and I just don't know if that seems messy, just from my perspective. So we would have to adjust a lot of dates. But look, I welcome the feedback from the entire group on that, because we all have to be on the same page in terms of pulling bros forward, lifting as we climb to make this happen.
Right. Well, my only reason for saying that is past track record as far as funds coming in and us being able to do the things we want to do. But that's something that the group can discuss. But that's just a suggestion from me. So if anyone else has anything else about it, that's fine. But that's all I have on that matter.
Thank you. Any other questions for Brotherhood Leadership Initiative Chapter Games Committee?
Not a question, but an observation. What will probably happen is when we provide this information up front, folks will probably start sending their money in at that particular time. As far as myself, I'll probably do mine in the beginning, reach out to my line brothers, and we'll be ready by the June date for that, because they're going to see that it's going to be a financial outlay. So soon you get it in, better off you're going to be.
Rue, other comments, questions? Flat, in terms of some of those technical things that you mentioned, Donor Box is going to be able to help us with some of that in terms of the fundraising with Chapter Games. And in terms of some of the other initiatives, Donor Box will help with the Friend and Fundraising Challenge. The Knowledge Challenge is the one I hear there's some trepidation about. And I already have a couple ways in which we can make that one happen, whether it's SurveyMonkey, Google Forms, or Kahoot, or I got plenty of options for that one. So the friendship and registration, which is about just continuing to drive bros who haven't really been engaged, trying to get them engaged and involved. That's something that, in terms of platform, they can make. We'll be able to connect that right to what we already have going on. So I hear you on the skills that you need, that we need. Some of those are going to be necessary redundancies, and some might, I just want to put that out there. Like Cincinnati last week, talking about these classes. I'm like, that's great. I've been in a bunch of those types of classes, and I don't necessarily think I need to be in those, but it is important that we have people that have, again, redundant skill sets, so we're able to support each other.
Rob, on the fundraising part, is that going to be one collective fundraiser, or is it? I was under the impression that each group was going to come up with their own little fundraising type of mechanism.
Each group's going to come up with their own type of fundraising mechanism. I don't know what that means exactly, but
give you an example.
Each
say we do like how I was talking about, get a gas, sell some gas cards and stuff like that. So I'm trying to understand, because the fundraising that I thought in the beginning was basically you come up with your fundraising scheme, if you will, and provide those funds to the body.
So the goal of that first fundraiser is Friend and Fundraising Challenge. So the goal is we're trying to increase our footprint. We want to make sure not just bros, that the community knows who Project Uplift is. And while that, each line and each group can come up with their own way of doing it, I'm under the impression that, y'all can end up with your own link to a donor box page, but those funds will go right into the donor box. Is the way that I'm seeing that. But if I don't know how that will work if you're selling gas cards or anything like that.
Right. I was using that like an example, but that was the gist I had last year. But if we got something different, we'll just go with what's going on now.
The only other thing I'll add is I think it's really important that we continue to emphasize not just funds, but friends, because we're trying to increase our imprint. And you made me lose my train of thought. I forgot. It'll come back to me.
I've got an inquiry when you're ready.
Go for it.
So you're on point, Brother Evans, and I would say to the larger committee, go into your respective transition plans along with the key milestone and dependency. Those two documents, you got to work together. Okay, and if you go through them, because Brother Evans has laid out his noodle, if you will, in these different plans. It's our job to go through the plans and see where it makes sense and where we may need to make the change and report back to this group. But he's given us a baseline, a foundation that we can augment to our respective talents and time, if you will. But it's incumbent upon us to use that transition plan document as well as the key milestones and dependency document together and come back to this group. So if we just did that in between these update meetings where we're working that and just, taking bite size and seeing how that plan lays out and come back and say, well, just like, I just heard about shifting the date. That way, in the larger scheme of things, Brother Evans is managing how these things interact. The mentorship committee can't really look at it because we're focusing and lasered so on our lane, if you will. And at some point, and we talked about this last fall when we went through to see if there was any milestones that were connected, any goals that was connected. We've done that work. Right now is our job to execute the transition plan, the key milestones, and their dependencies, and either reach out to Brother Evans outside of this meeting or bring that update back to this meeting. That's the only way that we can get this thing off the ground, give it the lift that it needs so that he can provide clarity as to what it's going to be clunky and it's not going to be smooth coming out the box. But I went through all the plans. That's what I do. I downloaded all of them and read through them, and hence how I looked at how the mentorship program ought to go. And I'm just offering that as a way to answer some of these questions that may be in between. Particularly, what am I going to do? Well, it's cleared out right there. If you do these things, here's your objective, and here's what the priorities are. That's it. Thank you.
All right, appreciate that, team. You're spot on, and I appreciate that. Okay. The last committee update is coming from communications and outreach, the one that I am on. We got two brothers from 19 that are both communications majors, Tyler Newkirk and Keon Young Jr., as brothers who I've talked to or texted with who said they'd be interested in being on that committee. Your charge, everyone on here needs to make sure that their committee members, encourage them to do that volunteer matrix, skills matrix. Please, please, please encourage, because we want to see what other skills, what other networks, what other opportunities might exist for Project Uplift, and being able to leverage those networks and relationships. We can't do that if we don't know who's connected to banks. Like, for instance, is Kedia still on the call? Yeah, there he is. Kedia's mentioned in his skill survey that somebody, either he I'm gonna misspeak. I'm just using an example. But somebody's connected to banks. I'm like, cool. I want to know more information about that. Somebody connected to a professional team, basketball, sports team. Can we leverage those relationships for the benefit of the chapters ultimately when we're trying to figure out? So everyone's charge needs to be to getting those members. And I got a lot of names that I wrote down to complete that volunteer skills matrix. And that'll also let us know how committed they are to helping us do the work, in my opinion. From outreach and communications committee, again, I got Tyler. I got 219 bros. And the next step for me is to work on continue to promote promotional materials. But at this point, the save the date has gone out. Let me show you brothers what we got going on here. Related to just our email marketing strategy, so that we're all on the same page. I'm gonna share my screen again with you so y'all can follow along. All right, so what you're looking at now is the back end of our MailChimp account. And when I go to the campaigns, you can see all of the campaigns that have been set up. And a campaign is just an email. So we have our terms and conditions and our privacy policy set up as landing pages if bros want to see that. You can see that first welcome letter went out on the 17th. No, I'm sorry, it went out on the 17th. And it went to 178 brothers with 56 opening that, only 8 making the click. So again, pushing that we need that volunteer skills survey. And then there was a resend that came the next day for brothers who hadn't opened that message. And that included 125 recipients. You can see 34 open that. So I'm like, all right, we have a total of about 180, 185 names in our listserv. And right now we can see that 56 and 34, 90 bros have opened that up, which is great. Our clicks are still relatively low, but the opening is happening. So that was the resend. And then we had another one where it was, since 94 brothers. That's the last we resend on the welcome letter. And then save the date went out on the 20th. You can see our numbers are increasing. Of that 186, 44% open that up. We still got to get those clicks. Bros clicking on either that matrix or that donate box. And you can see the remaining things that we have planned on our calendar for the month. So sent, resent, town hall. I sent it to one of my LBs because his email kicked them out. And that's why you see that when there's just with Bingo's name on it. The next message, schedule a reminder is going out on the 25th. And all of that content has already been prepared with a final push on the 28th and a day of reminder with the follow-up, all prepared. That's all the comms that we have prepared right now. But one of the things we should be thinking about is the frequency of our touch points with the brothers. In terms of an update on the SMS part of that, I was on a call with MailChimp this weekend about trying to figure out what's going on. They said my application for the SMS part of was denied. I had to inquire about why. They said our website wasn't active, and I'm like, that must be a mistake. And he's like, you're right, it is active, but it'll be 2 to 3 more days before I know. So I just want to give you bros that update there with the SMS part, because I know we said that would happen. And that is the last of the updates for communication and outreach. I do have one other update coming regarding the plot. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brother Smith.
I mean, great work, brother. So how do we feed brothers' names and emails and numbers to this larger entity? You got 178. How do we, send information in if we run across brothers? We don't know if they're part of this 178. What's that mechanism?
That's a good question. I'd say the short answer is projectuplift.us. Because on there, they'll have an opportunity to subscribe to our page and give us that information. So the easier way would be to just simply tell them to go to the website. But beyond that, how I got all of these in to begin with, Brother Harv sent me the list, and we imported those names into our contacts. So as subscribers. So I had to clean 2 of those, and once they're clean, you have to re-enter those folks into the subscriber contact. So at this point, I'd say to go to our website. That's a good question. I think I need to think about that one more.
Yeah, because
I could put it on a page.
Well, I came across a couple of 70 brothers, and you know, I shared with them what we were doing, and they were unsure getting the Kappa Sigma emails. And so I was just thinking out loud while you were talking to say, well, how would I get a Lawrence Cooper 70, 73, 72? You know, I think Jim Johnson is on there. You know, so there's, I just wanted, I said, well, do we give them the .us? Tell them to go out there to the website? You know, once you figure it out, that's the thought there, is to say, you know, what's the best mechanism to get these guys signed up and on board? Thank you.
Yeah,
I spoke with Jim Johnson personally, and he's on the list. If he's not getting it, he might have a bad email, but I spoke with him on several occasions.
Yeah, no, I was just citing that as an example that there may be other brothers,
Yeah,
you know, that may be, you know, in the dark, if you will. You know,
it really is.
yeah.
You're absolutely right, because when we look on that sheet, there's still some holes in the sheet, and trying to gather that information it's been some work. So we just got to get back on it. But definitely, we would still want to maintain the Kappa Sigma 1937. That's the clearinghouse. But we also want to include them in the new stuff as well, so that and we can just always compare those numbers and make sure they're good.
I think yes, I agree. I think the Kappa Sigma chapter alumni group email is one that the bros should always, that one shouldn't go anywhere, right? But when we start talking about business of the chapter that we're trying to execute, like one of them is like relationships and continuing to keep us connected. The other one's like, here's the business that we're handling as a chapter that we need to execute. Does that resonate with folks? Are we good there? So that's all I have. The only other update was about the plot. I got an email out right now to Ms. Samuels with some follow-up questions based on the conversation that we had last week. Specifically, you know, some of the things I have for her include more details about how this initiative came to. I can share it. I'll read.
Oh yeah. Hey,
read to y'all.
I saw it. I read it, Rob. I was like, yeah.
So here's the email that went out after I got I was going back and forth via text with Smoke, and he recommended reaching out to her. So you get a chance to see it went to her. Smoke says CC him on it. So he's gonna follow up with her. Harv as president, and then the running record, the history of all of this lives right there in the Kappa Sigma Q's 1937 email address. But you get a chance to see where the questions are coming from, the types of questions around deadline, timeline. She hasn't responded yet. I did pepper her with a lot of questions. So we'll see whenever she gets back to me. But sent on by Project Uplift on behalf of the Kappa Sigma Chapter Alumni Group of Omega Psi Phi. But if bros want to read this more closely, I can send it to them.
Rob,
questions.
Hey,
on
hey, Rob.
So James called me this evening, probably about an hour and a half ago, and asked me, he said that she's been asking them like our mission statement, different things concerning the plot. So I said, well, I asked him to send me whatever questions she's asked them and whatever they have submitted to her. And he has not yet done that. I'm gonna call him when we get off this call. But I just wanted the group to know that she reaching out to those brothers there in the city.
Okay. Well, I mean, as of right now, if there's no payment plan or something they can give us, I just don't see how we be good stewards of our resources if we make an investment like that with this early without appropriate information. So
Right.
we'll see if she responds.
yeah.
Okay.
Hey, on the mail out, include on that, I don't think Kappa Sigma Q's is on the 186 that we sent out. Add that one, so we always got one over there. And
Just add it. I
is
just
it?
added it. Yep.
Okay, cool. And we want to drop you can't really mail it to group meet, but we need to post it in group meet. I try to put it everywhere so folks can see they didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? So if I get it out, I'll move it around and drop it in group meet, drop it in on Facebook. You did one on Facebook. We'll go that route.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the Kappa Sigma Q's account opened it on 20 minutes after it was sent. So if that's incorrect, that's the information that I'm getting on this end.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
All right. Pivoting, my update on the plot is more information to come. All right. So pivoting, we really need to spend some time talking about the town hall and what this is going to look like, what we want it to look like. And I just want to pause right there. I think there are some key talking points, like obviously discussing our progress, goals, and milestones, updates on any new initiatives like the website launch and where things stand with that volunteer skills matrix. And each of those emails that we have calendared will continue to ask for folks to make sure that they do that. But I want to make sure that we confirm each committee's role and contributions to that town hall. So I just want to pause right there. And, you know, the idea of these town halls came out of this meeting. It wasn't my suggestion. I took it and ran with it based on what I heard Bruh saying. So with that, just want to open it up for a conversation about what we want this first one to look like, knowing that our next one is February 27th. And then we have a few others throughout the year. So there's the pause right there. And I just want to hear from you brothers.
Rob, the website looks amazing.
Rue, we got some more work to do on this. It's
oh
just
yeah,
basic
yeah.
at
I
this
mean,
point.
it's a great start. I was like, oh shit, hey, I want to be a part of that.
I would say, you know, whatever we deliver, that we, in terms of inquiries from the brothers, that there's some blanket statement that we bring it back to the Project Uplift, you know, team to discuss. That we don't try to solve or remedy anything during that town hall. It's more of a readout of what we're doing. We do take those inquiries, but we don't try to do committee work during that town hall, and that we don't try to solve through multiple voices on that town hall. I think that has to be our practice. I mean, we've got enough already with the readout in terms of each group to that degree, multiple voices, as you've indicated. But on the other side, we don't want this thing coming off the rails in our first, you know, town hall in terms of, you know, trying to solve for, you know, the tent dimensions, or trying to solve for the menu at homecoming, or So I think that needs to be established, brother Evans, with the group, that we don't speak out trying to solve it. Hey, that's a great idea, Brother Smith. Let me take it back to the team, and at a minimum, we'll report back at the February town hall meeting if we don't reach out. That's the kind of statement I'm talking about. That I just want to start it that way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Say it out loud.
I'm a big fan of not putting your foot in your mouth. And if you don't know, then you don't know. And that idea of trying to solve problems there, and that's not the place or the time. So I'm completely with it. But we do want to make sure that the meeting stays on track as well. So first thing is don't solve problems during a meeting. Any other comments?
Well, again, I know our team had discussed those talking points for our January 27th session. I think at this juncture, we just need to know if it's 3 minutes, 5 minutes, how much time are you allotting? If you've already thought that out in terms of, is it an hour long? And I was looking through my notes to see if it was there. But that's what our team needs to know, and our goal is to develop those talking points on Monday the 27th. Are we meeting next Wednesday as well?
Yeah, I think we have to, so we can practice and run through. So I'll put together.
That was our thought, was to develop our talking points on Monday and present them at the Wednesday meeting. But I think it would help us in our deliberation. And how much time are you estimating for those segments? Thank you.
I open that up to the group. I mean, I have my ideas, but I open that up to the group. The Zoom room will be open as long as we need it to be open, but the town hall doesn't need to be open all day, all night. So we can do it and keep it an hour, keep it really tight for the meeting. The town hall is an hour. But that's just some suggestion.
Let's do 1:15, Coach. Folks tend to be tardy, especially for the first meeting. After that, they'll learn that they need to be on time.
The best way to learn it is by starting on time, not waiting on them.
Yes, Mr. Principal.
I'm just saying, you're not going to learn that by being bad behavior. Being rewarded for bad behavior doesn't seem like the way to go to get the response that we want. So if we want them to be on time, we start on time.
Okay, let's roll. I'm with it.
I mean, an hour 15, an hour don't matter to me, but we need to start.
Yeah. Well, let's look at see what 5 to 7 minutes per 5. I'm looking at the 5 committees, and then we've got the intro, we got the larger, how the connectivity will be, what that looks like for our endeavor this year, what the larger plan is. So you're going to need a good 10 minutes for that, and then so that puts us right about 45, 50 minutes. You got open and closing prayer, and then you've got the Q&A. So maybe somewhere between 5 to 7, or I think 5 to 7, because some people are going to go over, some are going to be less, and then when you've got the bookends, what the project is doing, what's the call to action for the brothers on the, get to the volunteer matrix. I know one of our items, just thinking out loud already, is we probably going to solicit for mentors, because we're going to cap our committee, if we can get to these other 3 before the rest of the teams try to get to them. We want to cap at 6. So I see in there one of the key messages or the FAQs is, where do I fit in at? I think for us that would be probably your if you want to be a mentor, more details to follow. So that's just a thought in terms of time frames.
Okay. I just dropped those key messages in the chat for the brothers who hadn't had an opportunity to read them. Those are key messages for Project Uplift for the next really until for the rest of this month, until we finish sharpening those messages per committees. But that's what you have right there. If you're making calls to brothers and you're not entirely sure what to say, this might be useful. So I'd encourage everybody to take a look at it. Brother Smith, I got intro, closing, which includes our prayer, Q&A, all 5 committees, and whatever call to action that we're going to do. And we're looking at about an hour. Any other comments, questions, feedback?
Yeah, as long as we got a captive audience, when you get to the part about the skills assessment, let's walk them to it and have them do it right then.
Okay, anybody else?
When you say walk them through it, do you mean walk them through the navigation to get to that? Because that's going to require them some other time to go through that matrix.
Yeah, just yeah, it's not like the other
Point them in
thing.
the right direction.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And then give them a reach back point where they can actually if they have any questions.
I mean, the link is also in that follow-up message as well. So just continue to drive home that conversation. Okay. All right, looks like we got, does it matter what order we go in? That wasn't, I'm just,
I really think that the mentor portion is going to probably be the biggest portion because they're going to have a lot of interest. So depending on where you put that at.
Any other comments or thoughts? You can unmute yourselves, bros. You're not, I didn't mute y'all. You can unmute yourselves. I see you laughing, Pee Wee. All right, then I'll take a crack at it, shoot out potential agenda, and we'll go from there in terms of order if the bros are okay with that.
All
right. So I shared, moving on, there's nothing else. I shared with the brothers the calendars, and one of those calendars was, had our campaigns on it. And our Sheltering Our Legacy campaign is the first one of the year. And that one is, scheduled to launch in February. Do we feel like February we'll be able to pull that off? And again, the window in terms of times, if bros want to follow along, you can look either on the master calendar Google Sheet, or you can look on the Google Calendar app. Share with your brothers. But what I'm about to drop in the chat right now includes all of the meetings for the year and when we think they'll happen. Obviously, these things are subject to change based on the needs of the organization. But you get a chance, if you click that link that I just dropped in the chat and go to the tab that says meetings chronologically, you'll get a chance to see both committee meetings, town hall meetings, the launch of our campaigns, and when those campaigns close with a date, and the Zoom link that we'll be using for those meetings. That if you look at line 18, you'll see mentor session number 1 is that March 15th date. But we also, just a note, I want to check in with the brothers about our memorial service date, where we, right now it's the 16th of date. So mentor on Saturday, Sunday, memorial service. And I just want to check in with brothers about that and that timing to see if all of that works. And again, that link in the chat, the one that I just dropped there, you can look at that and come to that page that has all of our dates for the entire year, 75 dates on there. And right now it's just one person on that link. So that's why I keep saying, if you click that link that I dropped in the chat, it'll take you to it so you can see exactly what this is going to look like. And essentially, what I need the bros to do is to evaluate that calendar. Like, Rob, I'm reading this and I don't know. You don't have to worry about the committee meetings because that's each committee's, where it says CM, that's a committee meeting. So if those dates don't work, I can reconcile that with the committee chair. What I'm really focused on are the larger, the town halls that we have, the campaigns for fundraising that we have, our mentorship sessions, when certain things open. Those are the things that I'm focused on. And you'll notice right after mentorship session number 1, our memorial service, that Monday, our registration opens for the Brotherhood Leadership Initiative or chapter games. If those things don't work, again, we can go make adjustments and modifications, but we're getting to a point where we got to reconcile this and put some stuff in stone pretty soon. So I'll pause there, but the timeline and rollout of that strategy for Sheltering Our Legacy, again, is meant to target brothers. Okay.
Well, I would suggest that we stick with the February timeline. March is that's a heavy fundraising month for the school, perhaps some other entities. I know the Founders Day is the first part of March, and so we may want to get to any potential dollars from alumni brothers, before then. And in March, there's a couple of different campaigns. Of course, you got spring break in there as well. So I think, let's get it. Let's put our toes in the water and see what our experience is, and build on it. If we wait, then we run into probably some marketplace confusion with other fundraising and things, and it just kind of takes us off track a little bit. So I'd say let's go with the February date, and it's Black History Month. So
team, I'm gonna go back and look at. I haven't close read that document you sent back to me, but I'll update the calendar once I get an opportunity to read that. Any other comments about the calendar? Or the first campaign?
The memorial service, there's a couple of caveats in there. I haven't looked at the larger calendar in terms of when is Easter. Is Easter in April this year? Is it in March? Because you got that Palm Sunday, you got Easter, so that takes those 2 Sundays out. And then with it being the 16th, that means the 9th is typically the memorial service by the fraternity, the second Sunday in the month. So that 16th may still be good. I don't think we can't go any further than the 23rd, because then we run into district meeting scheduling. So the 16th or the 23rd has to happen, and I think in terms of the mentorship, I think we should still be good there, because we're not talking about any larger than the audience that we're speaking to, if you will. That's my feedback on the memorial service.
I couldn't find what time we did that last time, team. So that's why it's in red, and I want to make sure I get that piece vetted with the brothers before any communications about that goes out.
Yeah, 3 p.m. Central Time. It's in the afternoon, and that is a sharp 1 hour program. It may even go to 4 p.m. Central Time, but it's in the afternoon on that Sunday.
And it's an hour?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Only reason I'm putting in PST because I got to set up all of these times in the Zoom account, and I just need to do that for myself so I don't lose track of it.
Yeah. So everything is Central Time for the majority of the brothers, but usually that 3 p.m. Brothers getting situated from church,
Oh, he just
Give them a
said.
chance to get their coat and tie on. And
Okay.
yep.
Okay. Next step on that is really continue to work on those email templates, any social media that we plan to use to continue to encourage the bros, and just outreach. So that's part of that communications strategy. Other than that, I want to make space for the good of the order and checking in with bros about where things stand, unless there's something else.
Let's standardize on Eastern time. That way, this Eastern time all the way across the board.
What do you mean it's all the way across the board? Eastern is Eastern, Central is Central. They're an hour apart.
Being consistent. Eastern time. Use Eastern
So,
time.
so we've been using Central Time.
No.
5 o'clock Central is not what we've been using?
No, that's
Yeah.
recently.
So you have to look at Robert's on Pacific time.
So you saying let's go like 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time?
No,
Just
it's
put
just Eastern time. I mean, just use Eastern as the standard.
Oh, so instead of saying 3 o'clock Central, we'll say 2 o'clock Central.
4.
No, I'm saying use
Yeah,
Eastern time.
I mean you're saying, okay, when it's 3 o'clock, we're gonna say 4 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah,
We're gonna say 4 o'clock Eastern time, which will mean 3 o'clock Central.
Yeah.
Okay.
all right. If brothers are experiencing roadblocks or challenges, it is extremely important that they let us know as soon as possible. That includes delays with vendor outreach or challenges with committee schedules, anything that might be a roadblock. We need to know so that we can game plan. You don't have to go at it alone, is essentially what I'm saying, and try to solve issues. Early action, not waiting until the day before, is also going to be paramount to avoid any last minute issues. Once we agree on an agenda, I'll share out a slide deck that bros can have an opportunity to add to for that town hall. And with that, for the good of the order, let's start this with 19. Quentin, what you got, A-Dog?
I'm good over here, A-Dog.
Roll. All right, thank you. Pee-wee, for the good of the order.
Like I said, keep it rolling. I'm super enthused. Let's match that energy and let's just keep doing what we're doing, knocking this thing out.
Rule. I'm gonna come back to you in a second, Pee-wee, because you said something that I want to make sure I say to everybody else on here when we talked the other day. Booby, for the good of the order.
Hey man, let's get it, bro. Let's get it. I'm enthused, just like my brother said, man. Hey, we've been having good meetings with our committee meetings. Let's go on and keep this spirit going. We're gonna be all right, brothers. We just gotta keep lifting that we climb. We're gonna be all right.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Mandel, for the good of the order.
Everything sounds good. Rob, can you check and make sure I've completed the skills matrix, and because I've submitted it a couple times, the registration, I'm not sure if it went through.
Really?
I'm not.
I'll let you know.
Okay, yeah, but I try to complete everything. I'm not really. I don't think I'm getting the. I know I'm not in the group me, and I'm not getting the Kappa Sigma emails either.
Kappa Sigma.
Is it 30,
Accused
1930? I'm
1937.
not. Yeah, whatever that email address is, I'm not getting those emails.
I haven't sent anything out in a minute.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't think I've gotten them emails at all.
Mandel, drop that your email address in the chat, because I want to make you are getting the Project Uplift emails, all right?
I am. Yeah, I'm in those.
Okay, cool. Yeah, drop your email in the chat so Harv can add you to his distribution list.
Okay, root up.
Rue. Keys for the good of the order.
Man, it looks like everything looks good. It's just that we just got to stay on course. As we know, these doggone years and these days and these years passing by real quick. It's a lot that we got to do in a short time to get there. So we just gotta get it and hit it and make sure we get everything taken care of.
Rue. Appreciate that. Harv, you see that he dropped that email address in the chat?
I sent him a text message the other day when he called me.
Perfect. For the good that Johan said.
A great meeting, Q's, as always. I love the energy. Love the progress. Shout out to you, Rob. You're doing a fantastic job. Of course, he's 1999. I'm excited again to see how 1999 is going to stand up again with our donation toward Project Uplift for this year. As you know, we donated $5,000 last year. We're going to see what we're going to do this year for 1999 to stand out once again. So I'm excited to get rocking, get going. I love to see the bros here. Can't wait till we get everything in full speed. That's all I got.
Bro. Brother Smith, you got the floor, sir.
Hey, right on for another enthusiastic meeting. The committee's up and going, and I just will implore you, brothers, as I tell all Omega audiences that I have a chance to speak to, dog, we got to read and write. All right, there's a lot of information out here. Take the time, skim through it, read through it, but that's going to be the margin of our success. And we got to read through it and be ready to as I said to the brother of the day when I got my homecoming shirt, bruh, what you know, and my wristband out here in the Mile High City. We got to be on our J. But great enthusiastic meeting. Thanks.
Rue. Flat, you got the floor. Brother Vice President.
Thank you, bro. Good meeting, brothers. I would like to thank the Jeff Smith's committee, because Jeff, your committee and you have put some fire under me, and I will be coming back at you. Great job for everybody's committee. Great job. I think everybody is moving forward. I will catch up, and I think we're doing a great job. Good meeting, brothers. That's all I have.
All right, Brother President, you have the floor for the good of the order.
Good of the order, bros. Keep doing what you're doing. We're growing by leaps and bounds. We're gonna need a bigger tent to get everybody underneath. So keep doing what you're doing. And we're here for the work.
Great. Well, brothers, we got a lot of action items. To brother Smith's point about reading and writing, I don't disagree. I strongly implore everyone to please read, because we got to vet this. All of the stuff needs to be vetted, and it can't be vetted if we not all have eyes on it. And the other piece of that, if reading it is going to be a challenge for you, listen to it. Your computers will talk to you these days. Just let it tell you what we did. You ain't even gotta, but you gotta know what we're doing first and foremost. You gotta know all of those details and look at those key messages, because that'll help as we're having these conversations. And the other thing I just want to say, me and Pee Wee were on the phone the other day, and he was so enthused after this conversation with Johanse. And he's just like, we've known each other over 25 years at this point. But to have those types of relationships or strengthening of relationships, these meetings give us an opportunity to put in work, but they also give us an opportunity to connect. So moving from just transactions to really strengthening our bond and our relationship. So for all of that reason, I'm like, just continue grinding, brothers, and bringing somebody with you to these meetings. If everyone trying to bring someone either on their committee or someone who's, reluctant, bring them in, and we can indoctrinate them or thoroughly immerse them in this in this work that we're doing. With that, Brother Smith, as the veteran on the call, I'm asking you to close us out in prayer, sir, if that's okay with you.
Amen. Everyone, one accord. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you humble and in earnest, Lord, thanking you for allowing us to have this fantastic meeting with the men of Kappa Sigma Chapter Alumni Group by way of the Project Uplift. Go with us, Lord, and our respective families and bring us back again in 1 week's time, that we may continue to do thy will as well as the will of our great chapter. These prayers are offered up in your darling son Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Good meeting, bros.
Oh yeah.
Good man.
Y'all got me out here excited, man.
Hey,
Like,
Rob.
I had to
Hey, you know, I look forward to doggone Wednesday, boy. They're like, hey, I've been outside since 2 o'clock. Well, hey, with my propane going, man, you know, I'm getting calls from the job and shit. I'm like,